but I mostly blame this on Seeds, my buddy and Patreon supporter, which you can join by just $1. No, I'm just kidding. Well, not kidding. Give me money. But Seeds and I chat all the time. Hey, what's up, Spoons? And today I was like, man, I'm not 100% sure what I want to talk about today. Like, I don't have the stuff I wanted to talk about, I don't have prepared yet. There's been so much other things going on, trying to frantically piece things together. I do have some news. I posted a big post on Twitter, Reddit, and the forums called Tick, 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 where I outline what I think is going to happen. And I'll just be more clear about it right now. I suspect that as early as next week and as late as the week after, we are going to see a new event. My guess, here's my prediction, okay, guys? My prediction is that there will be some sort of event for each side. So the Minmatar Amarr and the Caldari Gallente may have even different challenges. The Amarr Minmatar side in particular seem to be dealing with the solar harvesters and the data there and recovering those. But the idea is that I think that there's going to be some sort of challenge in which all 4 empires want something, and you can help one of the empires, whichever empire you want, and then when that empire hits a certain threshold, then their new Navy faction exploration frigate is released. That's my bet. That's my guess. And I think that this is testing the waters for things like the allegiance system and making that more serious. No, I legitimately, like, this is not even like, wouldn't it be cool if, like, this is my prediction. This is what everything shows this, as far as I'm concerned. Any idea on the percentage of players that do faction warfare? Well, given the fact that faction warfare is pretty defunct right now, not that many, but there are 2 things about faction warfare that people need to appreciate. One, in its heyday, faction warfare, bar none, has created the best PvP content I have ever experienced. And 2, or B, depending on what I started with, as I've said since literally 2012, as faction warfare lives and dies, low-sec lives and dies. The thing is that it's all about an ecosystem. And for an ecosystem to exist, there has to be a base creature, right? There has to be a base resource. And so the idea that there are people out there trying to run these plexes in combat-capable ships, that is the starting point. And then because the faction warfare groups are doing their fighting, that makes it worthwhile for the pirates to go in, which makes it worthwhile for the nullsects to roam through. It becomes the place. God damn it. You know, I check it over and over and over and over and over again. And then literally 9 minutes as I went live, they were waiting. They were fucking waiting with the button. They're like, now. All right. Let's look. Ferox Navy issue. Oh my God. I am 100% correct. I mean, it wasn't a big guess, personally. Yep. Cyclone Fleet, Prophecy Navy, Myrmidon Navy, Ferox Navy, and the Probe Fleet, Imicus Navy, Magnate Navy, Heron Navy. I still had people on Reddit being like, I don't think they're Navy ships. I'm like, dude, I mean, I could be wrong, but like, I've never been more sure of something that hasn't been formally announced in the game in my life. Triglavian Storage Facility, Stasis Field Effects Pylon. That's spooky. Preex Gal Site Spawner. Preex Cal. So this is the pre-expansion event Caldari Site Spawner. So this is going to spawn the Caldari. This is the spawner for the pre-expansion event on the Caldari side. This is the spawner. The spawner is what spawns all the enemies that appears in the site, if you didn't know. So this is the pre-expansion site spawner for the Glente side. Triglavian storage facilities are interesting. This could be related to something in Pochfin. It could be related to Athenoon. It's hard to say. Of course, the stasis field subpylon and transport field effect subpylons, these are originally deployed by the World Arc, but now there are actually Kikimoras that are able to deploy those. However, those that are deployed by the Kikimoras and stuff have different names. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with these. What? I mean, Joe, it was painfully obvious. Maybe I should take a step back. You do well. First of all, no, they're not going to be expensive. They're going to be like 20 million at most. At most. Probably cheaper. I'd say 10 to 15. I mean, how much is a Comet usually? How much is a Mollusk Navy issue? Yeah, they're not going to be expensive, I don't think. The whole thing is that these... So, this is what I was saying. This isn't just, oh, how do we do the probe? This is... The question is, how do we revive faction warfare, right? So, the problem is that the LP market, not only is everything basically full because we're farming LP, but also we all have stockpiles of LP. So they need to have something that allows us to dump our LP. So by producing all of these new ships and then making them available for LP or some other reward tied to all of this, this allows them to re-incentivize engagement. And it's worth noting, as I was going to say a little bit earlier, that all of the previous Navy ships, like the original Navy ships, not the Ewar frigates, but the other Navy ships, those were all released with faction warfare. The first time, when faction warfare was first released, that's when those Navy ships were released as the reward for faction warfare. There are new faction warfare sites that are Empire Navy only and T1, or at least I think that's the new restriction for the novice, right? Like, I mean, in every conceivable... This is an alpha-friendly combat prober, Scout. Like, in every conceivable way, you can totally see why these fit as a Navy niche. Plus, they have the same stats. They have the exact stats that you would expect from a Navy ship. I don't understand why people didn't think it was going to be Navy. The weirdest one was that people were saying like some sort of mutaplasmid on him. I was like, there's nothing on that. Navy Imicus is awesome. Oh, there's stats. Okay, well, yeah, let's get there. Triglavian research item. Okay. I wonder if these storage facilities are inside of these sites. Like the Galente and the Caldari have these sites spawning because they're doing the Triglavian research, like in Athenoon. Hard to say, man. I don't know. All right, attributes. No. Is that what I want? Ugh, I have this all. I had my browser set up to be able to do these long pages. Hold on. Nope. Here it is. So, Cyclone Fleet issue is bonus to heavy missile and heavy assault missile, rate of fire, and explosion radius. Whereas the original Cyclone is... Oh, darn. Come on. Let's look. So current Cyclone is 7.5 bonus to heavy missile and heavy assault missile rate of fire. So this is slightly faster, 2.5% per level. So, what, 12.5? I think somewhere in there. And then the original has shield booster amount, and this has explosion radius. This makes sense because in general, Navy has better tank, better fitting, and better application. That's the things that Navy often gives you. So then, and that's it. The Ferox. What am I doing? What am I doing? Hold on. Oh. Hold on. Let me see if Singularity's up. No, they're adding new Navy ships in. So basically, the four battlecruisers that are not attack battlecruisers, right? So the Myrmidon, the Prophecy, the Cyclone, and the Ferox are now all going to have a Navy version. And the 4 exploration T1 ships are going to have a Navy version. I really don't like the fact that people are poo-pooing on that. The Navy exploration frigates are so cool for so many different reasons. I may just have a whole segment where I explain why I feel that way. But for now, let's see if I can log into Sissy. I can. Maybe. We'll see. So the Navy, I know that was kind of my reaction to the Navy frigates too. But think hacking and more combat probing fast tackle scout. Well, it's become breaking news. Hold on. We'll just change the name. New ships on Sissy. Done. I guess I should tweet about it too. Well, whatever. They'll figure it out, I guess. So these things are more designed, because think about it, they're developed for the Navy. So I believe that these are going to be more combat proby, tackly. These things are kind of tough nuts to crack. Spoons was doing some calculations last night, and he was saying that the probe, just by the stats it was given to us last night or yesterday, looked like it would be about as tough as the Rifter. All right, yeah, let me finish logging in. All right. So what I'm going to do is I scroll to the top here, and so this thing that opens up the new items pane, if you click on the next one down, this right here is a link to all of the different items in game, right? Now, obviously, these are not going to be in normal Eve right now, but if you go on Sissy and you copy those, and then you come in and open up your notepad, utilities, notepad, and then make a new note, call it SEP16. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, and then paste it. It actually makes hot links to all of those things. You can, of course, customize this by changing the number to whatever you need it to be. Cool trick. There's also how to pull up items that you can't normally do a show info on. Yes, also the hacking could very well be part of the so what I believe now at this point is that the event is going to give us the exploration frigates, but then what we'll do is unlock the battlecruisers. That's what I think is going to happen, but we'll see. All right, Cyclone Fleet issue. Show only attributes that differ. Okay, so oh, we don't need a Claymore. We don't want a Claymore in here. Okay, so we have the hit points thing, maximum velocity, high slots, CPU, launcher, power grid. So faster launcher velocity, or faster maximum velocity by about 5%. Another high slot. 10% more CPU. Another hard point. And 10% more power grid, right? Does that look right? It's it's actually my phone alert. How's the arc going to influence that? Well, so look, you really have to pay attention to their wording on things. Often players don't pay that close of attention, and if you actually look at exactly what they say, it's correct. Scarcity is a good example of this, or the end of scarcity, I should say. But what they said for this month is... Nope, that's not even the right browser window. New ships uncovered through ARC events to give you an edge on the battlefield. So that doesn't... That seems to me like this one isn't going to be like you don't get it. But my idea is that like once you cross a certain threat... Think like Encourage event, right? So first... or rather than with the T3 Destroyer event where like it was first place, second place, third place, my bet, and it might be that, my bet is that when you cross a certain threshold, you get it. I mean, you say that, except for like, as I said, often if you look at what they say, they actually say it very clearly. And then we, in our echo chamber telephone game, regurgitate it wrong. Like, so let's say every site is worth a point. Regardless of what, because it seems like they may actually want different doodads. Like the Amara and Minmatar side is going to want a different thing than the Gallente and Caldari side will. So my thought was it'd be like the first person, or each group, when it collects 9,000 doodads total, then that ship is unlocked and the top contributors are rewarded. Does that make sense? It may be a placement thing, but if it's uncovered, that means like once you've collected X amount of data, now you have it, right? All right. Oh. Okay, so it has an extra high slot and an extra launcher hard point, so it's going to be able to shoot. It shoots faster, right? And also, gosh darn it, my headset. I've replaced this headset twice, but it's so good, and all of the other headsets I get are give me like such a big problem. I keep coming back to this thing, even though it's literally held together by duct tape, and now holds a charge for like an hour and a half. It's still better than the other two. Anywho, okay, so which one is it? It's the 450 Stealth, Turtle Beach 450. Like, it's not for sale anymore. If you actually go to try to buy this exact one, it's like several $100s on Amazon if you get them at all. There's a newer version. I have it. I hate it. I hate it so much for several reasons. I might be able to get it to work sometime, but it's so dumb that it didn't even come with a dongle compatible with a computer. I had to buy a separate Xbox dongle to use, and now it still is like has awful connection. And the other one has the nightmare scenario where if I go out of range and then come back in range, it just mutes my mic without telling me at all. That's great. That's the kind of thing that gets me to wake up at night in like a sweat. Yeah, that's like my biggest fear. Any rate, back to what we were talking about. The additional CPU to fit the extra launcher and power grid. That seems pretty good. I think that the Cyclone fleet issue is just going to be a better Cyclone, which is nice. Whatever. It doesn't have the shield boost, right? That's what it gives up. It gives up the Cyclone's shield boost bonus for the application bonus, which makes sense because if it's a fleet ship, then a local rep may not make sense as much. Don't get me on that when we get to the Galente side. Caldari is much more about locked in. All right. Ferox. The white writing is blocking the text. Here I thought I was being super fancy, putting out my little blurb about... I had it all laid out correctly. Ask anybody who was here at the beginning. It was all laid out correctly, so I could do my Chronicle reading, and then they come and say, Hoboleaks has been updated 9 minutes ago, exactly when you went live. So here we are. Yeah. Fucking ganked. All right, so... It's funny because I actually started this whole thing with, I've been trying to do this, but I've been having difficulty keeping up with current events, and then that happens. All right. Ferox gets... What is that? 50% more shields? Maybe not quite. Let me get a math. I want to get a calculator on that. That's a nice number. So... Whew. So, but that's the other way around. So it's like, what, 40%? 44%? Either way, that's a good bonus. And maximum targeting range for a ship. So CCP was like, oh, y'all like Munins. What if there was a Tech 1-1 that was Caldari? But a battlecruiser. No, Feroxes are already really popular. They're a really good sniper ship. It now can lock further. No, my bad. It lost locking. I'm sorry. I had a moment of madness. It lost lock range. It lost lock range, got hit points, a lot more hit points, more CPU, and more power grid. So it's a brawlier Ferox? Hold on. Hybrid turret damage, hybrid turret tracking speed, shield booster. Oh, this actually does have a shield booster activation cost bonus. You know what this is? You know why this is this way? I think I'd get it. The Ferox has hybrid turret damage and optimal range. So it gets a shield boost range, or shield boost thing, and it loses the range. No. Yeah, loses the range bonus in favor of a tracking bonus. So it's better at tracking, has a ton more hit points, and has a shield boost amplifier basically built into it. The Ferox is a sniper ship. This is a Plex fighter. This is designed to fight in the new battlecruiser-sized Plexes, plain and simple. This thing is going to be a beast if it works. Sit at like 30. Myrmidon. Hey, 07. Thank you for joining us down the rabbit hole at Jeep Online. All right. Let's see what the Myrmidon has. Give me something. Lordy howdy, give me something. Sensor strength, an additional hard point. This is not great. Hold on, what's the Myrmidon bonus? Drone hit points and damage, web of fire drone velocity. Wait. Yeah. Oh, power of web of fire drones. Is that on the... Hold on. Hit point and damage. No. So increased power to web of fire. 50% more powerful web of fire drones. Turret damage and armor rep amount. So this is actually really good. This is what I thought the Brutix Navy issue, if I think that's correct. Yeah, Brutix Navy issue also has the repair amount. What was the other? So when the Vexor Navy issue, that's what it was. When the Vexor Navy issue got its rework, they really cemented the fact that the Gallente drone platform, or the Gallente faction platform, especially on the drone side, is local reps and a combination of hybrid and drones, right? So this is consistent with this. What's interesting, maybe I should say it this way. It has a much higher hybrid focus than non-faction versions of that ship. This is true about the Vexor, the Myrmidon, and the Dominix, right? So the idea that you have among your options the ability to deploy web drones that are actually effective is potentially kind of interesting if you could then nail them with either Void up close or a railgun that otherwise would be having difficulty tracking, which has a 50% bonus to. And it's worth noting, you do not lose the bonus to the drone hit points and damage. So you get the same damage for drones, you just get better hitting turrets, one more turret, the option to slow your targets down with web drones. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And nope, the microwave ride velocities on both of them. What was the other one? Oh, and a bonus to optimal range. Wait, is that in the other one? No. The Myrmidon does not have a optimal range bonus for the turret because it has the drone speed bonus. So the Navy issue has both the drone speed bonus and the medium hybrid turret optimal range bonus. This is pretty good. What is the bandwidth? The same. Otherwise, it would be here. $100. I'm kind of okay with this one, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of excited about this one. This is like literally the only thing that's upset about it. The only thing that I'm mad about with this Myrmidon is that I don't have any skins for it. I'm gonna have to start over with skins for it. Ah, oh, damn it. They better come out with heraldry fast. I'm fucking excited about that Myrmidon. All right, moving on. Hey, Lucius Sula 07. Welcome to. Thank you for joining us down the rabbit hole tube online. No, why? Hold on. Yes, that's also my ringtone. I am this kind of nerd. Gosh darn it! Hold on. I'm literally sitting in front of a camera in front of a whole bunch of people right now. So unless this is really important, I'm gonna have to do it later. Ah, you can read lips. I'm getting to the prophecy. We'll get to the prophecy. All right. In fact, we're getting to the prophecy now. What? I thought you could just delete things off of the compare tool. What happened to that? This one has crazy amounts of things different. Holy shit. It's like a whole different ship. Have I tried Alt F4? You know, that doesn't do it in Eve. In Eve, that just performs the second row's fourth action. All right. So we have half the drone, or almost half the drone capacity. What? Almost 60%? 50, we'll call it 50% more armor hit points. 50% more shields. What? A third more capacitor recharge time? Because of all of the ships that are Amarr, the one ship I don't ever think I've been like, man, I really need, this thing doesn't have enough capacitor, was the Prophecy. All right, whatever. Oh, no. Never mind. That's a worse capacitor. That makes more sense. I'm with you now. Recharge time is how long it takes to recharge. So you want... oh, I'm silly. So this thing has a larger capacity, but a slower recharge. So it'll probably have roughly the same recharge rate, but it'll just have more raw gigajoules. So it would take longer to newt. It would take longer to actually burn through all of it. But it'll still recharge the same joules per second as it did before at any given percent. It has a further targeting range. It has a medium energy turret bonus. What the hell? All right, we're getting there. Wait, what? Hold on. It has only one launcher hard point instead of 4, so it's lost 3 launcher hard points. So that's because the Prophecy turns into the damnation, and so it's like Khanid based, and therefore has missile slots. So it makes sense that they just strip that out. Let's look at the bonuses. All right. So it lost half of its hit point and damage bonus. It lost its resistance bonus for raw hit points. Not particularly thrilled with that. However, oh my god. This is why my phone gets muted, and then I don't hear anything later. Hold on. Okay. So this has... it loses its armor resistance and it gains raw hit points, which means it has more buffer but more resistances. Which on the surface, I would choose resistances first, especially if I'm going to have if I don't have logistics, then I want rep amount, right? If I do have logistics, then I want resistances, so that way I give my Logi the most bang for their buck. Buffer really only exists when you're trying to survive through a cycle to the next rep, or your rep's broken, or your tank's broken and it's your timer to die. I think that the point here, though, is that the Navy issue has the same resistances as a standard T1 build, but just gained 50% more armor. So you get a 50% bonus to the armor that is now 50% more than it already was, right? I think that that's a big piece to that bonus change. I don't know. But we also get a 10% bonus to medium energy damage and optimal range. Yeah, the percentage hit point bonuses are generally really good, especially since a lot of things that give raw hit points are just like a raw amount, like plates. I understand that, Jeet. I'm just saying, like, under normal circumstances, I would choose 20% resistances to 50% hit points. But given all of the circumstances, given all the pieces here, I think that I could understand why the hit points would be really, really good. Okay, so And then in the same way as the kind of the Galente went, we're seeing a hybrid platform of both energy turrets and drones being used. I guess not different kind of hybrid platform, I suppose. Now, what's interesting is that the Myrmidon gained web drone capabilities and hybrid turret capabilities without losing any drone capabilities. The Prophecy lost a half of their damage and not their micro warp drive velocity. So that's it, to compensate for the energy turret one, right? The Myrmidon, I don't think, had that same hit. Yeah, Hoboleaks, Cheetah. I have it, but I copied it right here. Let's look at this. All right. My windows are too big. That was not what I wanted. My view. I've said this many times, but I firmly believe that EVE Online is about 80% UI management, like as a game. 80% of the EVE Online game is learning UI management and getting used to it. Finding all the ways to get to where you want to be from where you are at any given point in the UI. Either way, so... Oh, hold on. Okay. Yeah. No reduction in damage for the Myrmidon, but a reduction in damage for the Prophecy. So what I want to do now is just throw these on here and see what happens a little bit. Why that might be. So the Myrmidon has a lower hit points, but it's got the rep bonus, which is kind of what you want. And theoretically, if that rep bonus is working for you, it doesn't matter how much buffer you have. Let's look at bandwidth. The Prophecy has a lower bandwidth, so they're bringing out medium drones, while the Myrmidon has what, 3 heavies, 2 lights, or three heavies, 2 mediums? Is that what you would do? 375. Quick, what is 100? What's the formula for 100? It's okay. Whereas the so the Myrmidon has better drones, better hits, or better drone bonus, more bandwidth, and this is what's controversial to me: a bigger drone capacity. So when they split, when they kind of define the MR as potentially a drone platform, like Race 2, they kind of designated the differences is that in general, the Galente have bigger drone bandwidths, where the Amar have bigger drone bays. So they're losing. Oh, they do get a little bit more drone bandwidth. They're going to get the Vexor treatment. So 2 heavies, 2 mediums, and a light. No, they lose bandwidth. They lost bandwidth. Huh. So they lose bandwidth. They lose bonus. They lose their turret hard points. They gain a maximum target range, which kind of makes sense because lasers are good at projection. I don't know if I know where they're going with this one. I legitimately don't. I don't know if this one works. The bandwidth on the Prophecy Navy is 50. I don't know, man. Maybe something's going to come out of this, But like, especially after looking at the Myrmidon, like the Myrmidon really works. All of the pieces of the Myrmidon works together. The prophecy, it does, like, I can't think of like, how does this fight in a way that it wants to fight? And it doesn't really have as good of an answer. And it feels like it lost all of the capability, all of the things that defined it as good, it lost capability in, which is weird. Lasers are not that good, guys. Not worth sacrificing everything for. Not better than hybrids. Okay. Right, it's a kiting drone boat. Wait, except for it's a Mar. Right? Like, there's it's not an Omen. Wait, hold on. Actually, is it? No, that would be, it's not a, that'd be the Oracle. You know, there's the line Executioner, Slicer Navy issue, Omen Navy issue, etc. They're the best what? Well, so remember what I said was, in order to get that advantage of that hit points thing, you would need to, you'd want to use plates. Those plates are going to slow you down. I think. Wait. I don't know. I was about to say like sniper boats. It could be like it could be a sniper deal. It could use sentries, but it doesn't have a tracking bonus. Wow, actually, it has a double range bonus. Yeah, those lasers are going to hit out forever. I think that the drones become incidental. I think that this is designed to be a baby Navy APOC. That's my thoughts. This is like a Naga, right? Hold on. I might have decrypted the code. We'll find out. So if I put an energy turret on this thing, let's just start with a medium, with a pulse. 37 kilometers default. That's already feeling pretty good, actually. And 49 with Scorch. So 59 kilometers with Scorch on a pulse weapon that does... Ugh. $205 DPS at that range without drones or other mods. Compare the bonuses to the Navy Augurer. I can't spell. AUGU. I thought that's what I said. Can you not spell? I don't think we can spell, guys. If somebody can spell it for me right now. Ship tree. It's got the same hit point bonus. You go back here. Where'd it go? Oh, God. Your UI is great, guys. Good job. All right. First of all, I mean, it has a lot more bonuses, but well, the Augurer Navy issue doesn't have that much sniping capabilities. Like I said, I think it's more like a Navy APOC. So, wait, no. Navy Armageddon? Hold on. That was probably a mistake. All right, let's go back to the ship tree. Yeah, Armageddon Navy. Because this has that... I'm crazy. Maybe it was the other one. Yeah, this is the hit point one. One of them's super, super tanky. One's one of the most tankiest battleships in T1, and the other one's the sniper. So this one's the sniper, because it has this optimal range bonus that's pretty long. And so you combine this optimal range bonus with tracking speeds and beams, and it can shoot really, 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 really far. It's known for that. That's what APOCs are good at. NAPOCs. Yes, its drone bandwidth got slashed. It's only got medium drones now, so it's a normal battlecruiser when it comes to drones. It has a little bit of a drone bonus, but it really seems like it's just for swatting off things with that its lasers can't hit, because it wants to snipe. So if something gets on top of it, I think that's what the drones would be for, right? Because, like I said, with Pulse, let's look at Conflag. With Conflag, it's hitting out to 20 for its full damage, right? So, like, this is the Prophecy Navy. Oh, the Myrmidon Navy issue didn't get any reduction in drones. No. But let's try beams. Give it 2 Templar 2s like the Gila. Oh my god. What a nightmare. So 286 DPS with just the guns, with no bonuses, at 15 to 28, with a tracking speed of 15. That's pretty good. I'm okay with that. That feels like a good fighting profile. But then I can swap to Aurora, and now I'm hitting out to 111, 121. It did get... Wait, isn't this the one that also got its locking range reduced? God damn it. Everything about this fit, like, conflicts with itself. Hold on. Is that real? No, it got an increased lock range. Yep, it's the new... It's a sniper. It's a sniper battlecruiser. That's what it's for. Which makes sense, because it's kind of like... It's funny. The Ferox is now designed to be closer because it's the sniper. It's normally the sniper. And then the Prophecy is designed to be far. Why would anyone use medium pulses when medium beams exist? I'll show you why. It was that one of the, I did mention the stat, but it might have gone by with the other stats. So this thing's tracking with beam lasers with Gleam is 15. Let's see what it is with pulses. We'll find out if this is actually true. So this is 24 tracking and roughly the same damage profile for 10, 20, almost 15% more damage. So that's why. Like, they do similar stuff until you look at the minutia of it, you know? But pulses are really pretty decent. That is one of the things, is that pulse at its shortest range tends to be as effective as, sorry, pulse at its longer range tends to be as effective as beams at its shorter range, I find. Even with these Scorch, you're still doing almost as much as the beams were, but you're doing it out to 50 with 25 tracking, when again, the beams had 15. And that was with the Gleam, which Gleam actually makes your tracking better, not worse. These make your tracking worse. You can always swap to Imperial Navy multi-frequency, and now my tracking's 35. So this is literally twice as good as tracking as Gleam. There's a trade-off. All right. Madness. Madness. Do we ever figure out, we didn't look at the Cyclone nearly as much, I don't think. So let's try to see whether or not I can make any sense of it, if there's anything we can say about it again. Oh yeah, it's just got another, never mind. It just has more missiles. It's like really, you know what happened with the Cyclone, okay? The Cyclone has been eyeing his buddy Hurricane like all of its life. Hurricane has always been the big dog, you know. Originally, Hurricane was the only battlecruiser that was worth a damn. Then when everything was buffed, the Hurricane was actually nerfed. Then when all the Navy ships came out, they all got a better version. But the Hurricane actually got like its old version back as a Navy. That's how strong it was. All this time, the Cyclone living in the shadow of the Hurricane. And it just got the Hurricane treatment. Here's another weapon. Go. You shoot more now. Cyclones are the Illidan Storm Rage of EVE Online. All right. Probe. Yeah, the old Kane. I remember when they had to explain why they were nerfing the Hurricane, and they showed the chart of like all of the battle. They do this sometimes where they show a comparison of like the relative popularity of all the battlecruisers or all the different ships of that same type. The Hurricane was so big that everything else was like stacked at the time, like below 10%. It was ridiculous. Everything else was just not used. I know. I'm gonna have to change that on my phone, man. All right. Let's see. Probe fleet issue. We already kind of talked about this, or we saw the stats, right? So it's got more hit points. It lost its drone bay. It's got a better sensor strength, which might not jump out at people, but sensor strength also makes you harder to probe. So not only are you combat probing other people potentially, but you are also more resistant to being combat probed. Maximum velocity, it goes faster. High slots, it gains a high slot. And CPU. No, it lost CPU, gains power grid. So it loses it gains a high slot, but not a turret hard point. What's the point of that? Well, it's a utility high, right? So let's look. Oh, it did gain a high. Yeah, it gained a high slot. So it went from 3. 3, you've got probe. Oh yeah, it also got the bonuses, right? So oh my god. I should turn that off. Okay. Can people see that clearly? No, absolutely not. Is that better? Yes, I think so. You'd like to see a chart like that from the hacks? Haven't they posted one like that at some point not too long ago? I don't know. troll through like CCP Rise's presentations and you might find something. Okay. So the probe, it gains this rate of fire bonus, and it has 2 hard points, 2 launcher hard points. So why does it have an extra high slot, guys? Can anyone tell me? Like, my instinct would be to be like, oh, probe, cloak, guns. But it's not. I mean, you could go with like a prototype cloak. But that's the probes. Am I missing something? I mean, you could go obviously 2 launchers and 1 laser, but at that point you might as well go 2 launchers, 2 lasers. Yeah, but I mean, like, it would be a prototype cloak. I guess you could do a prototype cloak. Whatever. Seems kind of eh. Interdiction nullification might be a good answer. Does it use it? Can it use it? I lost track of what can and can't use interdiction nullification device because it changed among the frigates so much during that time period. Entosis? Nope. Let's look. I'm thinking, my first instinct was like a Newt or a Nos, but I suddenly realized that what I would have wanted would be another mid slot normally, right? So sensor booster? No, that's a remote. Wait. Nope. Oh, yeah. Could be an Entosis. Lost its drones. That's weird. You know what it is? It's a festival launcher. That's it. They gave us a spot for a festival launcher. Because they know when you catch somebody with your probe, you gotta rub it in. That's what it is. There's no other choice. Done. Definitely a smart bomb. Can you imagine like a swarm of probes all getting around something and like all smart bombing and then blowing each other up instead of the thing that they're trying to kill? I want to be able to suicide bomb them. Okay, well, here's how. But they lost their salvager bonus, Remy. I was waiting for somebody to suggest that. They explicitly stripped them of their salvager bonus. Oh, man. Let's move on. That was the one we knew about. Of the Navy, on the Navy one. They stripped the salvager bonus on the Navy, not on the normal one. I mean, I'd stream sight people and unleash a bunch of suicide smart bomb probes. Yeah, it has 4 high slots. But what do you fill them with? You've got the 2 launchers, the probe launcher. What's the correct answer for that 4th slot, Spoons? I guess, so there is something to be noted here, okay? Hold on. It's worth noting that there is actually a good answer. Ready? It's not by comparing it to the probe. Whatever, we'll do it this way. Let's look at this. So the Rifter doesn't have a utility high anymore. I give up. No. What my point is that the probe fleet issue should probably be more evaluated as a combat ship than as a exploration ship. It's quite a tough nugget to crack. It's got one more mid slot than the Rifter. It has more hit points than the Rifter. It's got better capacitor, right? No, it's got slightly worse capacitor. Yeah. I think it's a combat prober, right? Like it's more of like a fast tackle. So, okay, here's what I think is happening here, okay? The T3 destroyer comes with a bonus that allows it to basically fit a combat probes for free. What this has allowed is that fleets now carry with them a T3 destroyer that can just quickly readjust their grids. Because it's not just that you have to probe your enemy. Like if you're on the same grid with them and you're over 150, you just drop your probes directly on yourself, hit scan, and warp the fleet. It's just that easy. So having that as an advantage in a fleet has become, a smart thing to do. But T3 destroyers are their own barrier to entry. Beyond that, the combat probes always take far too much fitting. And you always have to either gimp out the ship or it's not even possible to have it be that way. So this could potentially hand the concept. I double-checked. Alphas can combat probe. So this allows an alpha solution and a relatively low demand skill-wise solution that allows people to be a scout for a fleet as a combat prober. The only thing you give up is your cloak. Right? That's why I was thinking Newt. That was a long journey to just say I think it's a Newt. What do you think is the reason behind the painfully slow development times? I have a theory, James. Remind me when we're through the ships, and I'll get to it. I don't want to get. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, but I do have a theory behind that because it has kept me up at night. All right. Let's see. Heron. Heron lost its drone bay. Same. This is actually consistent with like moving up to T2, right? Most of the T2 exploration ships lost their drone bay too. Besides, if you're warping around as fast tackle, you don't want to have to wait for drones to suck back in. Okay. So, yeah, almost 50% more shield capacity, like 40% more shield capacity, 40% more armor, slightly faster, another high slot, no turret hard points. So it goes straight missiles. Stop. As far as bonuses go, it goes from oh, I'm fucking stupid. I'm like, these are the same ship. Yes, they're the same ship. Good job. Way to notice. Loss of salvager bonus gains missile bonus. Have you seen the scanning seals for an alpha? Yes. Have you tried to scan down a battlecruiser fleet when you know exactly what location they're at? If you can drop probes on their planet at minimum range, you'll probably nail them. Especially with the scan bonus. Anywho. So this thing gets a 30% bonus per level. So this is a 150% bonus to light missile and rocket damage. 150% bonus to light missile and rocket damage. I'll say that one more time. 150% bonus to light missiles and rocket damage in a ship that is going to be per level, 30% per level, guys. This is going to be a monster in novice plexes, right? This makes the breacher look fun. This is my new favorite ship for exploration. I know, right? I'm so excited about these ships on so many levels. The thing I like about exploration is that, you know, there are so many different combat ships that it's almost difficult to find like an actual, like there's too much bleeding through when it comes to niches and like what they do. Mining ships have set types, like there's a reason to use this kind, there's a reason to use this kind, but there's pretty much just the 3 lines, right? Damage, yield, whatever. The thing I like about exploration ships is that there's so many different options for how to tackle the issue, right? You've got T1 exploration ships. You've got T2 exploration ships. You've got Astero. You've got Stratios. You've got T3 ships. You've got, God forbid, a Nestor, right? You've got the Gnosis. You've got the Synesis. And the thing is that these are not just different versions of the same flavor. Each of them bring unique strengths and weaknesses to the exploration equation. And I love it. And this is a slot within that layout that I don't think existed before, right? The Astero did a wonderful job holding its title as the only exploration frigate with combat capabilities. But I find it awesome, the idea that these Navy ships will mix it up a bit more. And I'm telling you right now, I will be doing scouting for fleets and stuff and plexing in these ships, man. This Heron, I'm going to have to do some evaluations because this Heron might be better than the Breacher. And I know that's like, oh, you're comparing it to a thing, but the point is here is that, yeah, I mean, this is 3 hard points. This is 2, so it's 50% more already. But that's a lot more damage. I don't know, man. Will it survive a large smart bomb? There aren't very many large smart bombs in novice complexes. Also, oh shoot, that's a huge. Oh yeah, I've been saying, oh, it can combat probe without actually 100% double checking, and it's been like bugging me in my mind. 99% reduction in CPU requirement, I think will pretty much nail it. So I'm going to just say this right now. I think that the Navy destroyers was a troll. I'm going to just say that. I haven't seen any evidence of it, like actually being in the files. It might be fine, and that's fine too. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just like, oops, how did that get in there? It reminds me of CCP Rise once had a slideshow where he quickly was going through some. He's like, oh, let me get through these. And one of the slides, for like 3 seconds, it showed a mutaplasmid on a Titan. ThudKing07, thank you for joining us down the rabbit hole at Steve Online. All right, no problem, Rosabian. But who knows? They might come out. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. Honestly, you know what I think it could very well be, even if it wasn't a troll? It could very well be that they were just writing out the standards, and since they were specifying Empire sites versus normal pirate faction sites, because currently in the whole thing is that novice complexes are T1 only, but that includes Navy and pirate because those are faction. They're both T1. So this has made it so that the pirate frigates really outpower novices, and the complaint was that novices are designed for new bros, and new bros getting whacked by worms is kind of frustrating and discouraging. So the idea was to restrict it to only T1 and Navy. So that's why they were specifying that. And so that kind of concept might have just been copy pasted down, right? And because like it'd be the same as if they said like, well, there's no T3 frigates in a novice, or you know, just like there's no T3 or if he said that like no T3 battlecruisers in the new battlecruiser size one, because T3 is always one size up. So it could have been a mistake, it could have been a troll, or it could be the missing piece that we just haven't seen any clues of yet. Anywho, this is going to be nasty. I think this Heron's going to be really good. Potentially. Yeah. Gita, I don't think I can. I need to go into my disappointment in that not happening yet at this point. But that being said, I mean, like, the Deathless isn't gone. They're still building up that whole thing pretty rapidly. Like, whenever this whole thing goes down between the Gallente and the Caldari, there's a really good chance that the Deathless will make a power move. Wait, what? No, hold on. What? Did you... No, 2 launchers. 2 launchers. So it's launcher, newt, and... So, yeah, probe launcher, newt, 2 launchers. 2 rockets. Yeah. Or festival launcher. These all have a festival launcher slot. All right. Imicus. Uh-oh. Oh, that's the blueprint.
The power they would have, they would be immortal.
Kijper? Thank you for joining us down the Rebel, which is online. That's the blueprint. Where's the Amicus? There it is. Oh, that was a mistake. Remove covert ops from overview. No! Was not my intent. Oh, good. Oh, that's what I was waiting for. Oh! Oh! Oh, shit! Are you serious? Oh, no, that's capacity. Hold on. I got excited. No, it's the same drone bandwidth? What's its bandwidth? I was... Ah, it's still 20 bandwidth. That's fine. It's got extra drones. That's fine. We're fine. For just a moment there, I interpreted that as 5 medium drones, and I was like, what the hell are they even doing? Okay. So, rein it in. 4 small drones, 2 full flights, and 1 half flight. Yeah. No, it'd be terrifying. Or the real correct answer here is, of course, 2 guards. You just get like a whole fleet of Imicus. This is what we tried to do with Tristan's once. You can, like, the Tristan... Oh, no, because guards are 25. So we got a fleet of Tristans, and we went into a Plex, and we all kind of went to the guard's optimal range away from the Plex landing point and dropped our single sentry, and then slaved them all off to the Finger of Death, and i.e. we set assist. And then the idea was that when people came in, that one person would just like be there with fast tackle on the beacon or whatever and just nail them. We didn't actually like try it enough to actually see it proven out, which frustrated me, but I still think it's a clever idea. Can you just imagine landing and there's like a sphere of sentry drones around you? And you're like, what the hell? Boom. All right. So, hybrid turret damage and drone hit points and tracking speed. So yeah, if it had enough bandwidth, it'd be great for sentries. But no, that's pretty good. I mean, it makes it so that it can catch fast things. It's kind of interesting. You know, I think that honestly, this bonus is going to be more useful in PvE than PvP, right? Because like if you are able to use this in some like rogue drone sites or whatever, like lower tier exploration combat sites, them switching aggro and not nailing your these can be used in the Abyss. Oh no. Oh, that might be nice. That could be good. Double credit if they put those hacking sites in the Abyss, those Triglavian centers. Oh, that the abyssal probing. But I mean, like, kinda, right? I don't know. Maybe. Either way, it's not necessarily like a good idea, but it just made me realize that because whenever I think of drone hit points, I think about it being able to survive in the Abyss because that's like how the Helo works and all that stuff. Because it's so hostile against drones. But the point of the matter is that if you're doing PvE and the rad switch your drone, it goes blap. If it has 50% additional hit points, it may not go splat. They might be cheaper alternatives to burner missions. Who knows? Although, I mean, the thing is that like I can say, like the Comet or the Hookbill are both the Hookbill's really good in the Abyss already. So that's the power level, right? I don't think any of the existent Navy frigates get really used that much in burner missions. Am I wrong? And this also opens up the idea of more probable combat sites and stuff, right? They can add more variety to the things that we probe down by having a ship that can deal with a more variety of things. Anywho. Ooh. Increased sensor strength. Increased lock targets. Why not? An additional low slot. CPU. And hardpoint. Lesser CPU. Higher power grid. This is going to be a fun one. I still think that currently the winner, in my opinion, might be the Heron. I mean, unless for some reason that 150 bonus is like a typo or something, but like that feels so amazingly leverageable. All right. So, 100% energy turret damage bonus. Find the right can to open the gate or die. I mean, that's kind of the way that the drifter hives at least started. There are too many magnates out there. All right. I'm guessing no more drones. Yeah. Once again, roughly about 40% more tank. One more point of sensor strength. An additional low slot. Reduction in CPU. Loss of launcher hard points. Same exact thing as the prophecy. Because so too, the magnate becomes a Khanid ship. So it has missile hard points. This drops them in favor of doubling down on the turrets. And increased power grid. So same concept. Reduce CPU, increase power grid, increase hit points by about 40%, strip away drones. give damage bonus. Bob's your uncle. What's it called? Ooh. It gained a low slot. Most of these things are gaining a low slot. Well, some of them gained a high slot. Yeah, magnates are... So, fun fact. The magnate is the... Wait a minute. The magnate Navy issue gained a low slot? Is that true? Wait, hold on. Am I stupid? Did I say that right? Yeah, it did. Wow. So I have a video on my YouTube right now that's like, I can't remember exactly its name, but it's about a terrible idea. Basically, we did the math to try to figure out what is the mathematically best frigate to be in your frigate escape bay, just based on being an extra sack to throw your ammo and shit in. So just raw cargo capacity, what is the best one? And exploration frigates end up having a larger cargo bay. Magnate has the most low slots of all of the frigates, or of the of those exploration frigates. Therefore, Magnate is the best one. This one's better than that. So, all right, fair enough. Let's simulate this. Well, let's look. It's 400 base capacity. And rigs. Yes, my Magnate carries 2,231 M3.
Immortal.
Trark 07, thank you for joining us down the rabbit hole of YouTube Online. That is bonkers. You may not want to do exactly that much because you may want to, cut some of these out for some, warp speed rigs or something, or low slots. But I have 2,231 cargo capacity. How hard is this game to learn? I've been playing it for 10 years and I'm almost there. Almost there. No. It really is one of those games that, like, the thing is that it's not one game. It's a bunch of interlocking systems. So learning any one piece is pretty easy. Understanding the game is almost impossibly difficult. But if you're interested, be sure to use a buddy code. You can use mine right there. I hope that's the right one. And that'll give you 1,000,000 free SP. In this game, skills train over time, which makes... so this is roughly about 40 days of skill training as an alpha clone free-to-play character. And you can allocate that to whatever you want. With some implants, it might actually be able to fit inside of itself. Well, except for you can't put a like a unpacked ship. Well, yes, there are, like, EVE Online has technology that makes the TARDIS look very basic, right? Like, we have things that are bigger on the inside all the time. In fact, when you put something in, it says a plank generator can't be put inside of a plank generator. A plank generator is literally a thing that creates like a fold in space-time. It's a pocket dimension, more or less. Have you ever put a bag of holding into a portable hole? There you go. Um, that's so funny.
The power they would have. They would be.
Erebus Doomsday, thank you for joining us down the rabbit hole of Jeep Online. Which ships are new? We have 4 new battlecruisers here. These are the new things. Man, the fact that there's 3 of these really gives me a sense that there's something going on here, right? Like one of them's Svarog, one of them's Perun, one of them's Velez, one of them's frigates, one of them's destroyers, one of them's cruisers. You know what I mean? Do you feel me? Yeah, it's the Cyclone Fleet, Ferox Fleet, Myrmidon Navy, Prophecy Navy, Probe Fleet, Heron Fleet, Magnate Fleet, Magnate Navy, and Imicus Navy. High-low null. The trig has of yet basically never done anything in nullsec. So I have a new theory, by the way. I've been reading all these things, going over all this stuff, rereading all this stuff for the timeline and all that stuff, rereading about the time-based experiment yesterday, and it made me come up with an interesting theory. For the time-based experiment, they said it was new and novel anti-drifter devices, or like technology. What if, hear me out, what if Concord conspired to set up a beacon for the Triglavians? That the time-based experiment actually wasn't to catch the Triglavians, and that's why we caught one shortly thereafter. It was to enable the Triglavians to use the filaments that were being developed by the rogue drones. Because the Triglavians are the anti-drifter device. And it just blew up in their face. That's... I keep coming back to Taya Akira, the head of the Pharaohs of Thera, was kidnapped, taken, whatever, by a rogue drone that supposedly worked for the Triglavians. If she was rescued by that rogue drone from the assassin, then that would mean that the Pharaohs of Thera are working with the Triglavians, in essence. Or at least a point of contact for them. If the Sisters of Eve, or rather, the Pharaohs of Thera called out 2 things. One, the drifter tissue samples were used in the Alpha Clone technology. They're against the drifters, even though the rest of the Sisters of Eve are like super down with them. Taya Akira is really important, or was really important in Sisters of Eve too, by the way. And 2, where was I going with that? And the time-based experiment. So why would the Pharaohs of Thera, how are those 2 things related? How are those the 2 things that the Pharaohs of Thera were interested in whistleblowing, etc.? If you think of the Pharaohs of Thera as being aligned with the Triglavians, maybe a point of contact, because at this point, pretty much we know that the rogue drones and the Sancha, maybe, I don't know if the drifters had all made it to the Abyss by this point, most likely. Or maybe Concord's time-based experiment, this is the most ridiculous one, the time-based experiment helped enable the rogue drones to be able to burrow through for the first time. I don't necessarily think that that's true, because the time-based experiment was interrupted by the Astromancer who had a corrupted trinary relic in his cargo hold. So the assumption is that the Astromancer is also if there's this cabal that's working to bring about the Triglavians, not knowing what they're about to unleash. You have, Sorrow, SOE, and the other group I just said, that understand what the rogue drones have done. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Storage facilities are like fake. I think that they're event stuff, because these storage facilities have the Triglavian research items in it, right? Just like the solar data comes from, like, there's hackable cans that seem to be linked to the solar data that we're going to get. What do you think now? Edencom in Null, and probably happen the opposite side. It's Triglavian War, so Null convert in high sec zones and they conquest and dominate. So that goes back to what I was saying. One of the things that got me was during the invasions, the drifters attacked Nullsec. Combine that with the fact that the Triglavians only ever hit places that are either in high sec or low sec, i.e. under Concord control. These two facts together seem to imply that whatever Concord is doing is both enabling the Triglavians to invade and preventing the drifters from attacking, right? So that way, where the Concord does not have control, the drifters attacked Nullsec in order to try to get maybe a foothold of some kind, because they were getting their ass kicked by the Triglavians for a while. That's kind of a wild one. I think that Edencom is far, far, far more interested in reclaiming Pochfin than anything in Null. Edencom does not want to mess with the player alliances. Edencom, to be totally frank, wants the shooter to come out so that way its plot can move forward. By the way, transportation field effect side pylon, do not underestimate this thing. I fucking hate it. This thing's the worst. Wherever this thing shows up, be sad. This is a forceful command micro jump generator. So it picks a random target within range and jumps it either 50 or 100 kilometers. Got a Mike. Thank you for joining us down the rabbit hole. If drifters can one-shot Titans, how can they be scared of Trigs? Can drifters one-shot Titans? Actually, that's a good question. Like, here, I have a whole video on this, but we'll talk about this real quick. I think that you could probably make a Titan be able to tank a drifter. I mean, you can make a rattlesnake tank a drifter, Doomsday. If you can make a rattlesnake tank it and you can't make a Titan tank it, I don't know, man. Anywho. So the very first time that the drifter, or this is their first contact with the drifter forces, they refer to them as the ancient enemy as Daja, and identify them as vigilant Tyrannos, which is the specification for the drifters that are given to us too. This is relevant because the Tyrannos is somewhat of a relevant reference to tyrants, and it's a Greek name. The Jovians focus on Greek words, and the tyrants were the leaders of the Second Jovian Empire. So it's a direct reference to the command structure of the Second Jovian Empire. But, of course, these are not normal Second Jovian Empire guys. These are probably just a rogue AI escaping from the Matrix. So, Your mind is so beautiful. How you know all this info with the minimal double check. You can only get corrected so many times before you start remembering things. Oh yeah, they ganked Jamil. Oh, that was a fleet. That was like 50 Drifter Doomsdays ganking Jamil. Or more. All right. In fact, I remember I talked to CSP, I want to say Affinity, about that right after it happened. She talked about it because she was the one, she was actually Jamil Sorum at that time. And her coworker was the one that spawned the Drifters. And like, they were super fucking proud of this, right? Because it was the first time that they had an AI that simply just did its part on stage, right? Like, she said that the only thing that they did that changed its coding, more or less, or its priorities, was they turned off the lock that makes them have to wait until their shields get stripped to Doomsday. That was it. So they gave it their set of priorities. They spawned them. The Drifters warped themselves to Jamil, targeted her, killed her, potted her, and warped off. And they just got to watch it happen. Like, as a programmer, I can't imagine how, like, that is like the room of like NASA headquarters after a takeoff, right? Anyway, yeah. Well, the Drifters were always, so basically the way it works is this. Their first AI was a relatively simple AI that's very similar to, you know, AI from 2000s and before, right? When they made the Sleepers, they ramped up the damage and they made it so that they target things smarter, which at the time, normal rats just didn't retarget. So that was a kind of a big thing, I think. I think that's what it was. And then for Sancha, they basically took the Sleeper AI and they pushed it to its extreme to make the Sancha rats. That was the extent of that Sancha, of the Sancha, or of the of that first, or I guess second generation, the Sleeper AI. Then, around that time, they started on a new AI project, which was, rather than having the standard AI, just process, it instead functioned on a decision tree. So it would work down the decision tree. It has wants. It basically makes decisions based on the conditions. A much more sophisticated AI type. This is around the time that Left 4 Dead came out. So we're talking about that time where, so like the idea of like having a director AI that controls lesser AIs was really starting to pick up steam. So, yeah. So they started working on the Autothisian Lancers and the Drifters and stuff. And then from that came things like the mining fleets, the Diamond Rats. And pretty much most of the Diamond Rat derivatives, a lot of the, especially the ones before invasions, were derivatives of that new Drifter AI. They were able to fight a lot more like normal players. But they did the Drifter Assault, where the Drifters actually attacked the Throne Worlds, and they put in sites where the Amar would fight the Drifters, and that was when they ran into a problem. So up until this point, no rat had actually engaged another rat, right? There are some missions where rats fight each other, but if you notice, those are all scripted. They say that they're fighting each other, and then some of them blow up, but there's no actual fighting involved. They wanted to make a site where you go in and the Amar are fighting the Drifters and you help them. That was the entire point, right? So, but while it worked on Singularity, when they deployed it to Tranquility, it crushed the servers. Having that many AI actors trying to make decisions against each other ended up making that entire process not work. They took down the thing and brought it back a little bit later, like a couple days later or a week later or whatever. But now that AI function of them fighting wasn't there anymore. Thank you for joining us, Babel. So that is why the Drifter invasions got stopped. That I've long mentioned the fact that there was basically a 2-year delay. Some people complain about like, well, Siegel had these goals and all that stuff, but the problem is that they literally hit a roadblock where they couldn't get any further, right? They hit a limitation of their plans for the AI. So what did they do from there? Well, so the problem is that on Tranquility, 07 Biggie, yep, right there. That's the list. On Tranquility, in live fire, more or less, having the site spawn at scale is what ended up causing the problem, right? If there's only 1 or 2 sites that are being processed, it can handle it just fine. But having to handle it with everything else going on in the system was the problem. So what did they do? They made it so that they could control how many of the sites are on any given system, so that way they could ensure that there's enough CPU on any given shard to actually run the sites to have the sophisticated AI that they wanted to have. Hey, what's up, Zarko? What am I describing? This is the Abyss, right? The Abyss is actually a series of star systems just like any other. They're basically like wormholes systems that you get transported into, but they can control and load bear the systems by spawning up the pockets and putting you there. So if a system has too many sites already going, then it puts you in a different system. And nobody holds up the program, or nobody holds up their spot forever, because after 20 minutes, they're removed, right? So that explains a lot of the details of the Abyss. And so, did I speak about the developers yet? About which part? Oh, remind me and I'll give you the answer. So then from there, they took what they learned about the AI from the Abyss and made that kind of idea of like the AI controller that controls an entire fleet of people instead of each individual having a brain. And that's how we got invasion rats, invasion AI. And then once they had that established, they continued to build up those invasion AI behaviors. They put in an entirely new behavior set at this point. So that way it now uses cap, it can be neuted out, it can be jammed, you know, all the good stuff that you can do to normal things, you can now do to these rats, and they behave accordingly. They operate as a fleet, they can roam around, all that kind of stuff. And that's the AI, those are the rats that they've used since for things like events and these newish things. Okay, slow development pace. I am going to start by saying that I fully understand that this is the absolute most optimistic copium level view of this situation that I can. Okay? This was literally me just like, what is going on here? And like the pieces slitting together. That doesn't mean that I don't believe it's possible. I think that this is actually a very likely thing. But first, we're going to have to establish a few possibly unfortunate facts. Okay? The biggest one is we don't matter. And by we, I mean the people who are currently playing the game in the time up until the expansion is released. Okay? If you think about it, this expansion is effectively the culmination of or at least the first piece of the culmination, I guess you could say, of what they've been working on since 2019, right? So what is the difference between an expansion and a patch? The only real difference between an expansion and a patch is marketing. Why do you do marketing? To bring people into the game. They knew that they've known that this game is bad to bring people into since 2015. They knew that they had this problem. They knew that they've said it many, many times before. They don't have an attraction problem. They have a retention problem, right? So what we see is a process of going over all of the systems one by one, tearing them apart, and making them quote unquote right for some hypothetical reboot of the system, right? We see this with the market. We see this with industry. We see this with mining. At no point in any of these stages did they have any consideration for the people who were playing at that moment. Why? Because we weren't the people they were doing it for. If the expansion that comes out is successful, then that's all that's going to matter, right? No, because we've had patches with content, right? My point is that the difference in practice between a patch and an expansion is the marketing, right? Having a name, having a trailer, having, bundling it all up. And that last point is what's important. So here's the thing. Once you get past a certain threshold, anything that they release now is not part of the expansion. When they announced the expansion at FanFest, they weren't necessarily announcing it to us. We are one of their audiences, but we are actually, hopefully, a smaller portion of the audience that they hope to get this message to.
Less than 3.
07 to you, Sobek Stream. How's it going? It's good to see you. So it isn't about making us happy now. Everyone could be super mad this whole time. They've already made the plan. They already know where they're going to go. They already have the R&D allocated for it. They knew what they were getting into. They knew that many of these things were going to be unpopular. They also knew that if that expansion's a big deal, none of that's going to matter. So anything that they release right now would just be to throw red meat at the people. But it also doesn't make the expansion better. Every feature at this point that they hold on to is a feature that they can bundle to make a bigger expansion. I don't know if that's cynical or optimistic, but that's what I've settled on. Hey, Exit 07. I think the expansion will be the Alliance system plus Heraldry plus new docking UX. Well, we're not getting the Allegiance system. Well, so that's the other piece is that... thanks, Exit. I hope so. So, yeah, Cedar, good point. It's just cynical enough to be, something that corporate would do. I don't know if arcs are going to be like quadrants. I think arcs are going to be closer to like expansions or even maybe multiple expansions. Here's the thing that people haven't had an expansion in a while. So I don't think people understand how EVE does expansions different than other MMOs, right? Hold on. So most other MMOs are, theme parks, right? So you get the expansion. The expansion resets the treadmill, adds in a whole new area, new stuff, new dungeons, fresh paint on everything, maybe some new mechanics, all that kind of stuff, right? But it's basically just a refreshment of all of the stuff. And they occur, they come out like in World of Warcraft's example. They'll come out and then there'll be like 3 to 4 different content patches over the course of 2 years where these are associated with dungeons or raids or whatever. And people give me shit about current Blizzard. No, we're just, current Blizzard doesn't exist. So, either way, and so like an expansion cycle is like multiple years and a story or a thing unfolds over time. And then a whole bunch of new content gets come out where everything kind of gets reset again. And now you're in that expansion. EVE expansions, generally speaking, had 2 expansions a year. One in the spring, one in the winter. But the way it works is that basically the expansion goes all the way to the next expansion, right? Well, technically, the Triglavian one would be 4 total expansions if you work by those systems, because you have the original one. It's not Into the Abyss. Yeah, it was Into the Abyss. We have Into the Abyss, and then kind of a layover with Secrets of the Abyss that winter. I can't remember. I think we had Lifeblood then or something. I can't remember. There was something there in the winter. And then we had Invasions Chapter 1, Invasions Chapter 2, and Invasions Chapter 3. And they really were paced as if they would be those expansions. But my point is that, like, so when the Faction Warfare system came out in... what was the game? What was it? Retribution. Retribution? No. Inferno. When it came out in Inferno, they actually continued it. They iterated on it pretty seriously about halfway through Inferno. And this is my point. It is actually very common that major features that are now associated with any given expansion actually come midway through. So the idea that the Faction Warfare stuff would show up now, or rather in, November or whatever, and the Allegiance system shows up first quadrant next month, or next year, I mean, I'm not happy with it. It'd be awesome if the Allegiance system was live right now. The thing about the Allegiance system is that I'm okay with it if I'm right that the Allegiance system is far bigger than just Faction Warfare, right? If the Allegiance system is just simply code for I can be part of Faction Warfare without my alliance joining Faction Warfare, then I'm going to be very upset. It really does feel like it's going to be, because we think of Faction Warfare as like Plex fighting over the war zone territory and such, right? In a lot of ways, that's what Faction Warfare is going to be. But that's not the only way in which the empires advance their interests, or that you can advance the interests or be a champion for your empire. So what I want to see the Allegiance system do is far more than just I can now join Faction Warfare and go run plexes. You know, I want it to be something like, again, going back to World of Warcraft, like the banner system, where now, or the tabard system, where if I swear allegiance to people and I run missions, then, I actually gain faction standings. Like, it makes it so it's easier to gain faction standings or whatever. The fact that heraldry is actually probably one of the things I'm most worried about, for 2 reasons. One, I don't think that that's anywhere in the announcement for Uprising at all. In fact, we haven't actually gotten a new target date for it, even though I thought that heraldry was supposed to come out before the expansion originally. However, the other thing that concerns me is more cynical, actually, once again, which is that they wanted us to build ships so that way they could sell them. And that was going to be the big excuse. And the heraldry system is the reward for that. CCP wants to be able to sell ships for cash. That's a big advantage for them. So why hasn't that been done? Why not get that system out of the gate? Something might be delaying it or stopping it. And so if the heraldry system isn't working out as well as they would like, then that could be one of the reasons why they weren't able to do it as fast as they wanted to. That is a very pessimistic way of looking at it. But I'm worried because I really like the heraldry system and I want it to come out. Yes, they said that there would be eventually different kinds of objectives for IB, but the first thing that they were going to do was buy players for players. And this was brought up as being like the defense for the retriever sale, right? That they were going to switch over to this system. And they said next, they kind of went back on that, I think, because I think that they actually did sell something again, maybe even a retriever again. But either way, that is the thing that I'm most surprised hasn't come out yet, because it feels like they have the most incentive, just from a financial point of view. If that's ready to go, why would they delay that, right? Linea 07. Yes, new ships. 4 battlecruisers and 4 and the T1 exploration frigates. Navy. Krim Jaeger 07 to you.
Immortal.
Oh my god, Azoth. Did you see my Reddit post today, Azoth? Are you trolling me specifically, or did you just guess right? No, seriously. In my post on Reddit, I think no, in the post that showed the ship, right? So the post from yesterday, I think one of the top comments was about angel capitals, and oh man, now I gotta just find it. Hold on. Hold on. I should have done this earlier. Hold on. I have light mode on because this is terrible. God damn it. It's the same thing as last time. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I don't want to do this to you. There we go. Whew. Is that going to work? Yeah. So, Sissy leaks. CCP confirmed still on crack, complaining that the new Navy battlecruisers are too powerful. A shield booster bonus that doesn't affect ASPs. Armor boys definitely got the better role here. Well, I don't know, man. The Cyclone's pretty good. The Ferox looks brawly as hell. I'm not sure about the whole doesn't affect ASP thing. That would be nice if it was fixed. I think that the Cyclone fleet issue is good as a fleet ship, which is admittedly kind of odd for battlecruiser or for Minmatar ships. But the other thing is, when I evaluated these, a lot of these make sense when you think about them in terms of plex fighting, because remember, there's going to be a new frigate, or the novice sites will no longer have pirate frigates in it, and there's a new battlecruiser plex size. So there's a fair chunk of this where you evaluate these things in general, but you also evaluate them as just plex fighters. So the idea like the Ferox's changes make a lot of sense if you're expecting it to fight in a plex as opposed to being a sniper, for example. Also, the prophecy's garbage. The prophecy has some sniping capabilities. That's what we figured out. I want the Myrmidon so bad. The Myrmidon won. I'm in my opinion, so far it looks like the Myrmidon really won. Was it my post or was it another post? No, it was somebody else's post. Where is the yeah, found a dash shard of the new ship. Oh, drat. Now I can't find it. Either way, CCP responded with not yet or something like that, and they were complaining about it. And so I was like, man, I'm so sick and tired of this whole Angel Capital thing. Solstice Project 07. Here we go. Yeah, it wasn't tick, tick, tick. So Killer Bean says Angel Capitals when, and CCP Psych says maybe next year. When I first showed up, it was at 0. It was like zeroed out. He was downvoted. So then Puzzlehead says, learn how to communicate. You guys need to learn how to communicate. And I just ask him, like, how many times do they need to, like, tell us what happened before we feel like it's been communicated? Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's the thing that happens. What's the title of that post? Tick, tick, tick. something is coming soon. I posted it on the forums and on Twitter too. Basically, it was me piecing together all of the stuff. There's the 3 new construction yards in Samanuni. The 3 new construction yards have structures that were just renamed from listening post-event. The Amar are building the stellar transmuters. There is new solar hackable cans and solar data records that are specifically being sought by the Amar and the Mimitar. It really feels like... and also the Stargates are almost completed at this point. So... Tick, tick, tick. I mean, this could blow up as early as Tuesday. As late as next week, or the week after. The hazard suit? Hold on. Literally, this dropped as I was coming online. So, wait, what? Oh, the Heron Navy is so goddamn good. Yeah, no. I had to say it like 4 times to everybody for it to finally like click exactly how much ridiculous that is. 150% bonus. So I mean it's 6 turrets. It's got 6 launchers. Right? That's, I mean, you know, whatever. That's nothing, right? It's okay. What's the web? What do you mean? Yeah, that Heron Navy issue is gonna either it's a mistake and they're gonna correct it before it comes out, or this thing's gonna rip some people apart before they realize what the hell's going on. This, unfortunately, as much as I love Galente and hate Caldari, I think that the Heron Navy issue might become one of my go-to ships. But I may just stick with the Magnet. Did you? Speaking of, so since you're, this is Hoboleaks. It got 40% additional hit points. I don't know. The only thing it doesn't have over the Breacher is the Breacher's rep bonus. I don't pay attention to people's multiple identities most of the time. Did you guys catch how much cargo space the Magnate has? Since we're talking about how ridiculous these ships are? Because that's weirder. That's bigger to me. Yes, a Heron could fit an ASB. Yeah, over 2K. 2.3, I think I hit. That's bonkers. That's a lot of... Let's see, what am I going to use? That's a lot of isotopes for your Black Ops, right? Because you can put that in a frigate escape bay. The Synesis gets like 1.6 and still has a sub 2 second align time. You lose that sub 2 second align time. Yeah. You no longer have to like pick which ammo you bring. Because they don't want you to fit a web on it? Well, hold on. Let's check this out again. As I said, the Heron has 6. This has 3. 25. 4. Yeah. That Heron's fucking good. So these are, I'm firmly of the opinion that these are designed to be scouts and fast tackle. basically this is the command T3 destroyer role in a fleet as like scout and combat prober, but alpha friendly and taking significantly less skills. Let's look at what we can get with this. Well, I was going to read a chronicle today. I got 5 minutes into my stream before that got flushed away. Oh my god. Oh, turrets and launch. I'm like, where are the launchers? Because I see the turret. All right, I'm done. Let's go full on balls to the walls rock. The other thing that I thought about, by the way, is that we talked about was that these frigates are going to also be allowed in the Abyss. So there's that. Nearly 200 DPS cold. 216 DPS hot. That's... It's not... Stop thinking of it as a Heron, okay? Like, people see... Oh my gosh, that's crazy for an exploration. These are not exploration ships, okay? The probe is, like, basically a Rifter. Yeah, and it's not even type locked. Exactly. These are not exploration ships. So I'm like, wow, that probe. No, it's a beast pretending to be. It is as like it's closer to almost like the Logi Navy ships, right? Like an Augurer Navy issue and an Augurer are two totally different beasts. Yeah, it looks like a Heron, but it's secretly a hook bill. Exactly. Hold on, actually, let me look into this. Now I want to know. What is the potential damage output of a hook bill under the same exact conditions? Modules. Oh. Wait, is this connect locked? It is. 248. That's not overheated though. 292. So it's doing what? It's still like 25% more damage, right? But yeah, the Heron has 2 utility highs, can combat probe. Heron has no range bonus to rockets, so 13 kilometers versus... That is a good point. I mean, the Heron's going to want to be right up there, but again, plex fighting, right? So... Yeah, 9 kilometers. So this is a scram fighter. That's fine. right? I mean, whatever. Who cares? Do damage boosters boost the fitted turrets with or without the ship skills included? Can't remember how the math interacts between the two. Stop. Shh. You know what's funny about people getting freaked out by that sound, by the way? Because like this happens all the time when people have like lockback or whatever. People are like, oh my god, that sound makes me freak out. Think about that. That's the sound of you locking somebody else. So... Well, if you're hearing your auto lockback, then you've got bigger problems than just the fact that you're getting locked. So let's make a hook bill. Oh no. Oh no, I can do it without any consideration. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, wait. I might have a problem. Oh my god, not by much though. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Oh my gosh. This is a problem, guys. Can I compact this and get away with it? Oh. No, 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 no. Uh-oh. What's landing on me? Oh, not on me. And I have rigs to... Yeah, no.
The power they would have. They would be...
Flavitus Quintus 07. Oh, no. Oh, man. We can go... Actually, that's a good point. I might already have implants, but they won't be shield related. Yeah. I have armor implants in. Armor... None of my implants apply. Oh, no, web of fire range. What's the alpha with light missiles? At least one of those rigs need to plug a resist hole. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Although, to be frank, there's a lot of Caldari guys that just run around with their EM hole because there's not a lot of ships running around that'll punish it too much. But that's a fun little... well, we're just kind of playing around with it, Azure. We're looking at the Heron, the new king of the novice plexes. Light, right? Yeah. Well, I have a bit more fitting issue. But that's fine, because I would go with a disruptor instead. Probably. 133, no. Yeah, 133 DPS at 32 kilometers. And I still have the medium. That ship's going to be a gank magnet? Why? It's going to be doing the ganking. Navy Imicus to 180 DPS and 11k HP. Who needs to buff interceptors to make them useful? We'll just introduce a new class of Navy frigates. Absolutely wild. Yes, there's a new fleet cyclone. It's fine. It's a cyclone with more. It's literally just like strap another turret or launcher to the cyclone and increase its tank or its hit points by 40%. $250 million for the Ferox plus the blueprint? What? How could you possibly calculate that? Oh, just the materials to build it? Oh. Well, these things are continuing to crash in price. So you may want to double check whether or not those are accurate. But more importantly, if these are being distributed through Faction Warfare LP, you could probably just turn in a Nexus chip and a Ferox to turn it into a Ferox Navy issue, just like you can with Vexers and everything else. Mm. You might not even need the webs at this point. What would we do? We would do... What would we do? Oh my god, we would jam, right? You would jam. When you jam? Or... Hold on. Hear me out. Missile guidance computer. Target painter. Compact this bad boy. Can I even turn this on now? I mean, not that it matters. I mean, it's a medium ancillary. You could do dual, but if you're kiting with it, well, oh no, at this point we probably want to go micro warp drive, wouldn't we? So we're gonna have to figure out room for that. Micro. Let's go 55 MN. No, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'll have to figure out something. I guess I'd have to drop the medium ancil. Even still, I don't have enough power grid. I could lose both of those for it. But either way, let's look at its effectiveness, okay? That's only 39 kilometers. So all of that shifting around to get that guidance computer didn't actually give me that much. Yeah, I'll be out of newt range. It doesn't matter. That's true. But yeah, I wasn't trying to like make a decent missile build. I was just quickly trying to see what it would do. I personally like repping a third of my hit points every 3 seconds if I choose to. Just personally. I think that's funny. Yeah, I do like defensive newts. Who are you on Reddit? No, that's different. This does not preclude Navy destroyers, but as I've said multiple times, I've seen no actual evidence in like Sissy or in anything that actually seems to indicate that we are getting Navy destroyers. People kind of have gotten worked up about it. Am I cloaked at least? No. Why would I do the right thing? Jeez. Such expectations. Which one is it? Which one am I looking for? Are you Joey? Oh, the holes. Oh. I'm sorry. It's so often the top one, like in these kinds of lists, are like some sort of ad or whatever that my brain just totally filtered it out. That's funny. All right. Is that showing all right for you guys? Yeah, fine. Oh, I see. I see what you're doing there. Yeah. Yeah. That's basically what we've been looking at. Sorry. It is kind of an interesting little hole where the destroyers are, huh? Yes, we're missing Caldari Mimit. Yes. That would be a really good spot for the Deathless's team to fill. Given the fact that the Deathless is specifically working with Caldari and Mimitar paramilitary organizations. Yes, we are painfully aware that we're missing Caldari and Mimitar. Oh, man. I want to see this one where people are apparently upset because the battlecruisers are too strong. I love the fact that yesterday people were like, I don't care about just Navy frigates. And I'm like, this isn't all, whatever. About the web drones, I think those are funny as hell, and I'd put them in the enemy during fleets just to fuck with their heads. Dude, Myrmidons with Navy, with drone bonuses, the web bonuses I'm really excited for, actually. In fact, like I said, I think that the Myrmidon got the most love of all of them. I also think that people are making the same mistake I did in trying to evaluate the prophecy as a drone boat still. Oh my... Everybody's trying to trigger me today. There's supposed to be rebalancing happening too, right? We just haven't seen that yet. Hold on. Is this? No. What, the prophecy? The prophecy is no. I know exactly what the prophecy is. It's a sniper boat. It is a baby Napok. Armageddon? Whatever. It's a sniper boat.
The power they would have, they would be.
This will end well. 07. Yeah, because it's got longer lock ranges and double range bonuses for a ship. No, the Navy version, not the main version. It lost half of its drone bonus, I think over half of its drone bandwidth. It has double range bonuses on the turret, on the lasers. Gain bonus on damage on the lasers. It's designed to be a sniper boat. The drones are it just has a flight of 5 medium drones like a normal battlecruiser at this point. Do we know the blueprints will be attainable? I mean, okay. I'll just put it this way. When Faction Warfare was first released, that's when we got the original Navy ships, right? Like, the Navy ships were the original rewards for LP. So I assume that somehow the blueprints are going to be tied to the rewards of Faction Warfare, either directly to just purchasable for LP in the same way as the other Navy ships. No real reason to expect it to be any different. Or some other more complicated thing with the way that they do campaigns or whatever. I also strongly believe that this only cements to me the idea that we're going to have an event in which we use exploration to collect things, and the team that collects them first might unlock the ships faster. Correct. They're not on... This is all Sissy. Like, literally, this went live on Sissy the same time I went live. So we could look at how long I've been streaming. That's how long these have been live on Sissy. Oh. Well, yeah. So, again, I think that what'll happen is they'll have an event, right? They're not live on Sissy because we haven't unlocked them yet, right? But when you unlock them, the biggest contributors will probably get free BPCs, and then they'll become available. That's what they normally do with these sorts of things. That's how they implemented the pirate implants. It's how, I mean, like, you can buy them all as Navy issue, right? No. It's fine. I'm really excited too. A Myrmidon, that Myrmidon in those medium complexes is going to be so fucking fun. All right. Also, people keep shitting on the new hangar, but like, this is... I think this is an in-game shot, guys. Like, all right. Where did they say it? I thought... Maybe they didn't say it here. Because I remember that they said new ships and ship rebalance. Was that in the trailer? I don't know. They've said it somewhere. Oh, wait. There's heraldry. That's right. Okay, great. Never mind. We're good. I feel better. Rewind about 30 minutes and like, tell me it'll be okay. What do you think about the functionality of new Faction Warfare? What is your view about it? Well, so I guess I'll put it this way. The last Faction Warfare group, like, huddle that I took part in, it was, I think Jintan was the one that was putting it on, and I was one of the moderators. The biggest two, like, solutions that were presented was the one that I was promoting, which was the idea of campaigns, story events that take place over the course of like a couple weeks that make a specific system or area important, and then like rewards can be distributed based on actions during the campaign. And somebody else, or there's another group or a lot of people that felt that what needed to happen would make it so that you can't take a system unless you already own the system adjacent to it, so that way there was like a front line. And so it's almost as if they took that recording and they were like, yes. So in principle, I'm stupid excited. I remain cautious just because of the nature of the beast. Yes, how about that missile eagle? What about it? You don't put rapid lights on your eagle? I love people that try... My favorite... The thing that people have told me is that they're trying to explain this away as a Gila. I was like, No. But I mean, I want to know more details about how the system is actually going to play out. What kind of stuff are there going to be different activities? What are those activities going to be? Because so here's the thing that makes me nervous. Okay, it is difficult to appreciate. No, hammies? Well, either way, missiles, one or the other. That's what I'm trying to say. How about the Space Gandalf? So just today, guys, just today on my YouTube, went live the video of my beat by beat breakdown of the trailer. So go there for those kinds of answers. So it is incredibly difficult to appreciate the full nuance of what makes faction warfare good. Right? And the thing that really made me this struck home to me was, I think it was when like Joe Bain and Golden Age stories in them were joining Gal Mill. I sat them down and I explained not just how the plexes work, but how plex fighting works, how system ownership works, how contested system, how the contested, how it plays out. And I remember about, midway through the conversation, he just goes, man, faction warfare is way more complex than I ever thought it would be. And I'm like, yep, and it's true. There is an incredible amount of depth in faction warfare and the way that the fights play out. However, that depth comes from the interaction of several very loosely coupled and simple systems. It isn't about how one plex functions. It's about how plexes respawn. It's about how plexes respawn in this system versus the next system. It's about the cycle of going from novice complex all the way up to large which one's the next one to come up. The timers, these kinds of things. This is a delicate system that a CCP doesn't appreciate it, which most people in faction warfare don't even appreciate what is really going on. In sieges and stuff, that it's very possible for that delicate balance to be disrupted, right? It could be possible that there's now so many sites in the system that there's always one or two sites available. Like, that would actually be not great, right? There's lots of different ways that they could mess it up without anybody even realizing that it's messing it up until it gets put out to scale. That makes me nervous. Everything about what they've said about the system, though, makes me happy. How about that? CCP hasn't corrected the trailer to my knowledge, and it's widely talked about. I would not imagine that CCP would correct it until, it's proven out one way or another. I don't know. CCP, I don't really often make a hobby of proactively correcting us when we're wrong. Partially because, so here's the problem with that. When CCP starts correcting people that are wrong authoritatively, they are actually playing in the metagame, because putting out false information is actually a valid thing to do. So they let us be wrong if we don't know. Now, if, like, in an interview, you directly ask them about it, they'll usually tell you. But no, there's absolutely zero, I have zero confidence that the Space Gandalf is a troll or a hoax. It is almost certainly a callback to a character that's going to make us go, oh, okay. Or it's a new character. They've been introducing a lot of new characters recently. There's a lot of really good chances. We go into it a little bit there, but it could be a Triglavian dude. It could be an Intaki dude. It could be Deathless. It could be somebody else had one other idea that was really good. Oh, maybe even the Quartermaster. Either way, there's a few ideas. Oh no, the Artichoper, the head of the Equilibrium Mankind, right? Each of them have their own reasons why it could be them. Each of them have reasons why it doesn't really feel like it is them. So we'll have to see. $1K alpha damage? Wait, what? Really? Holy shit, you're right. That's devastating. Oh, and this isn't a quarter of my health. It's a sixth? Nah, it's not great. But it's still good. Why would the Gandalf be in a campfire in the middle of nowhere? Well, again, there are multiple answers for that. If they're... Oh, a Mimitar Elder. That was the other one that somebody came up with. Which, the Mimitar Elder idea is probably, honestly, one of the better ideas. Yeah, each of these missiles are hitting for 477 alpha. So this is 953 DPS alpha, no missile implants in. There shouldn't be any polarized light missiles. There's only polarized for short-range weapon systems. My level 5 flycatcher has 815 alpha. Well, I mean, apparently you should be in an exploration ship, my friend. Uh-oh. With precision, it's going 21 and doing 100 DPS even with 721 alpha. And with Fury, it's going 32 with 140 DPS and just over 1,000 alpha. Yeah, the difference is you have a rig, Cheetah. And yeah, let's not forget medium ancillary, micro warp drive. I like this fit. No, these are light missiles. I have the browser over it. God damn it. Thank you. So what I need to do, I've been thinking about building my own like overview system, like or layover system, overlay system. That's what it is. And so now what I wanted to do is make it so that you guys can like use a chat command to turn off my browser window. It has a damp for extra salt on the side. I mean, why not jam? Pump up the jam. Pump it up. I mean, you could bring Mimitar or Mar jams. Oh, fuck. You're right. Because jams have been changed like years ago. Get with the picture. And I managed to do it without getting copyright. Hey! Caldari Prime Pony Club coming in with the 10 gifted subs. First of all, thank you for the subs, my friend. Second of all, thank you for all of the work that you do for EVE Online too, man. Congratulations to Strimmer, Crimson Coder, Stadia Punk, Cardisuis, Peck Animix, Dark Side Pitter, Malcolm Lionel, Yar, and Jita. You get them subs. I'm going to take an opportunity here, just in case there's anyone here that has no idea why I got so excited when Caldari Prime 20. Actually, you know what, Caldari, I've been meaning to talk to you. No kidding. And really about that, what I was just talking about. I still want to try to take what you've learned about the ship stuff and bring it into Unity. So then we can do all sorts of crazy stuff. That's all. Yeah, because I've got a Unity program that, like, the video at the beginning of my stream. Hold on. This right here, the ship. That ship is actually just recorded it live in Unity. It also I have it authenticate with the API, and it also is a chatbot. So we could do some cool stuff. It's not Stratios. Who? Do you really think it's a Stratios? Hold on. I'll go back. You think that's a Stratios? Fair enough. It's a pretty violent Stratios. All right. If I go... It's actually slightly transparent and flickery, like it's a hologram. But... I gotta find... There he is. So this is how much I like Caldari Prime Pony Club. I can prove it right now. Ready? He's one of the few people... Oh my god, wrong one. He's one of the few guys I have actually, like, followed or friended or whatever you want to call it on Reddit. So his stuff gets highlighted. This is what he does. Amazing. Like, I've watched this advance over the years from just like, hey, I can render the ships in the game outside of the game and then like, hey, we have a web tool that lets you try out the different skins based on all the skins that are available in the game, to I come out with some of the most beautiful crap that makes us all kind of look at CCP and go, So like, don't you want to live in this Eve, right? Like, come on. I know, grim, dark, whatever, but like, don't you want to live in this Eve online? This is the Eve I want to live in. I want to not be able to decide what skin I want to put on my ship because I have so many cool ones. I am 1,000% sure that you want the pink one, GM. I found Waldo. I know, right? Absolute travesty. Dude, they're all busted. You can fit double medium ASBs without fitting modules. Hold on. 206 DPS cold at 9 kilometers. Scram, 1 web, double medium ancillary shield boosters, afterburner. This thing is... So here's the thing. We talk about a lot of different ships. Like, you know, the Tristan gets a lot of love. You know, the Kestrel people like to talk about. Condor, maybe. The Breacher is probably one of the most underrated frigates in Eve. It is brutal in how strong it is. And this thing very might dunk on it. Yeah, this Heron is like Navy issue Breacher. What was I looking for? Oh. Do the new ships have models on Sissy? Well, yeah, but all they are is the old ones, but Navy, right? Like, I mean, this one should technically be camo, probably. The Magnate works. Yeah, Caldari Prime Pony Club. Get in here. Do some work. See? This is what a Magnate Navy... I mean, like, this is what a Magnate Navy issue looks like, right? Because it's the Navy skin on a Magnate. That's how these things work. The Navy Magnate has 2,000 cargo capacity. Yeah, 2,300 actually, to be specific. If you fully deck out its cargo hold with like T2 mods or T2 low slot cargo extenders and 2 T2 and 1 T1 rig. 2,300. Oh man, hold on. Oh God, I gotta go. I'm gonna finish up my stream by doing this, and then we're gonna go. What happened? Gosh darn it. Wrong page again. Yeah, there's the set of Navy battlecruisers. Ferox, Cyclone, Myrmidon, Prophecy. Prophecy becomes like a sniper boat, kind of like the Napoc, I think it is. Myrmidon becomes a ridiculous beast that uses flexibility with web drones and better, basically the same as like the Vexor Navy with like the reps and hybrids and drones. Lost 0 drone capabilities and only gained hybrid capabilities. The Cyclone just got handed another launcher and patted on the ass and let out the door. And the Ferox is actually way closer to a brawler. It has more hit points and better damage, but it lost some of its range bonuses. Let's see. God. Every once in a while you come out with these like sort of cell shaded ones, and it's just so good. Like, come on. Uh-oh. It's asking for permission. I forgot about this one. But Caldari Prime Ponyglum has been doing this literally since as long as I've been playing this game. He's been working on understanding how Eve renders its ships and how to do it better, I guess. Oh God, right. Is there anybody in particular you want to blame for this one? Brisk. Okay, well, there you go. Come on. That's actually really good. That's really low poly, isn't it? Is each of those walls really like 2 or 3 triangles? Huh. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Why would you waste polygons on this ship? The fact that they haven't done more with the giant flat surface of the Barghest is like one of the criminally insane things. Oh yeah, this is your cell shading work. All right, well, I've been Asherathi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. I know it's been a long and wandering conversation today and nowhere close to what we thought we were going to talk about, but I think that it was good. We got to break through some of the newest stuff and dig into it and try to understand it live, which was really fun. I really appreciate you guys coming and spending time with me and all of the contribution and conversation. I also would like to thank Abyssus, J. Kuhn, Jenny, Fatewinder, Kotoba Manac, yes, Fayssal, Seedsaplenty, Divoolej, Lares Hane, Gragnor, and YellowCladKing, as well as BlackRoseNoble and Dajat Lemmont, MidnightSpaceMonkey, NotJustFun, Serenalen with no eyes, Syliana Vel'ash, Talking in Stations, Nephilim, and Grendel, my co-designers, as well as, of course, Ebo1337 and Elange, my Immortal tier patrons. Thank you guys so much. If you want to help out, you can always... I know, Rampant, it was supposed to happen. Look, it is not my fault that you waited for me to hit the live button for you to hit the live button, okay? That is on you guys. I was ready to go. It was gonna happen. No one to blame but yourself. Anywho. Make sure to thank one of those guys or join their ranks and get me to read your name out loud. Just $5? Yeah, $5 for me to read your name out loud or you get put on the list. Actually, whatever. Either way. There's the link. You can also go check out my game, Playton. It's a real-time puzzle game. It's pretty fun, kind of like Tetris. It's actually based on a game called Zoop. If you want to help us out and join the Convocation of Empyreans and help make increase player engagement with EVE Online, there is information about our Discord. And if you want to check out my lore portal that I've been working on pretty hard, it is aderon.org/lore or Eve's lore portal at universe.eveonline.com. I would strongly recommend checking out Faction Warfare. Aderon Robotics is recruiting for the Glente Federation. I guess I will say as a bonus, as I tweeted the other day, if people ask me all the time, what do I do to get involved in the lore? Right now, the single most, the thing I can pretty much guarantee you would make a difference in the lore would be if you take one of the 3 systems that are currently owned by the Amar and have stellar transmuters in them. If any of those fall to the Mimitar, I all but guarantee that will be a meaningful event to have happened. All right. Let's find somebody to raid.